In today's video, Shenhe, Adepti of Liyue, Disciple of the Cloud Retainer. Shenhe is a 5-star cryo character, polyarmor user, buffer and debuffer for cryo DPS. In this video you'll find tips, talents, explanations, artifact sets, weapons and more, so keep watching if you want to have the best Shenhe Genshin. Join my Discord server if you want to make friends and play Genshin or other games, you're more than welcome to join. So without further ado, this is Shenhe's character investment, and let's jump right into her active talents. With the normal attack, she performs up to 5 consecutive spear strikes, but of course she doesn't use them. With this skill, she grants all nearby party members the Icy Quill effect and deals cryo damage in different ways based on how we use her skill. If we press it, she rushes forward together with her talisman spirit, dealing cryo damage to opponents along the path, and if you hold it, she commands the talisman spirit to deal AoE cryo damage. Let's have a look at the Icy Quill. When normal, charge and plunging attacks, skill and burst deal cryo damage to opponents, the damage dealt is increased based on Shenhe's current attack. If you hold it rather than pressing it, the Icy Quill's effect lasts longer and can be triggered more times. When one cryo damage instant strikes multiple opponents, the effect is triggered multiple times based on the number of opponents hit. The number of times the effect is triggered is calculated independently for each party member with the Icy Quill, so this is the contrary concept of the stamina. For example, you have a certain amount of stamina that all your party members share. Instead, with the Icy Quill, all characters have their own number of talismans, which is quite good, even though she's the second cryo character you would have in the team with your cryo DPS, and the other two characters would be Hydropyre or Nanimo. But anyway, let's go ahead. With the burst, she unleashes the power of the talisman spirit, dealing AoE cryo damage. The talisman spirit creates a field that decreases the cryo resistance and physical resistance to opponents within it. It also deals periodic cryo damage to opponents within the field. At level 10, this talent reduces the resistance by 15%, so you should have a character like Kazuha to improve this buff. She's the last one, or generally speaking, she joins the field just before your DPS and uses her skill and then her burst. This order doesn't have a particular reason, it's simply because the duration of the skill is longer than the burst. The level priority is skill, burst and last normal attack. Let's have a look at her passive talents. With the first one, the active character within the field created by her burst gains 15% cryo damage bonus, pretty good. With the second one, we talk a little more of her skill, since this talent introduces 2 specific buffs based on the way we use it. If we press it, elemental skill and elemental burst damage will be increased by 15% for 10 seconds. And if we hold it, normal, charge and plunging attack damage will be increased by 15% for 15 seconds. So with this passive talent, we use our skill based on how our cryo DPS deals damage. In Wriothesley or Ganyu's case, you'll use the whole mode. For Ayaka, it depends on how you want to play her, since she can take advantage from both modes. Also, Wriothesley takes advantage from both, of course, but you prefer to give a normal attack damage bonus. And thanks to the last one, you can gain 25% more rewards when dispatched on a Liyue expedition for 20 hours. Really useful for resources, of course. Before we uncover the artifacts options, the majority of the viewers are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and make sure to activate the notifications to not miss out any future guides of favorite characters. Let's have a look at her artifacts options now. So for 2-piece, she can use 2-piece attack, Gladiator, Simunawa and all others, 2-piece energy recharge, Emblem of Her Fate, and 2-piece cryo damage, Blizzard Slayer, if you want her to apply cryo and deal more damage, but it's better to focus on attack and energy recharge while building her. Right now, so in 5.3, we don't have an artifact set, so a 4-piece set that Shenhe can use, so give her a 2-piece attack and 2-piece energy recharge. Main stats are energy recharge on the sand, attack on the goblet and attack on the circlet, and sub stats are attack, energy recharge and crits. Let me know in the comments for how long you saved for Shenhe or when you started saving for her. Let's have a look at her weapons options now. Try to give her weapons with a lot of attack, and if you have too much of it, give her energy recharge since her burst costs 80. First option is Calamity Queller, her signature weapon. It gives a lot of attack. This is the greatest value we have in Genshin. The effect grants her a small bonus in elemental damage and increases her attack every second for 6 seconds. If she is off field, the percentage of attack she can gain is doubled, so really simple but really strong for her. Despite this, we have another option which holds its own against her signature weapon, which is a Gulffield Lightning. This weapon gives her energy recharge and also a lot of attack with the effect. If you have a great percentage of energy recharge, she's going to have a lot of attack bonus. Lastly, Skyward Spine, which also gives energy recharge but a little less, but gives more attack than Engulfing Lightning. Unfortunately, she doesn't take advantage from the effect. For 4 stats options, we have Favonius Lens, which is a classic alternative. It gives a good amount of attack and energy recharge, but remember to give her crit rate to activate the effect. And Misty Wind Spear, which gives her a lot more attack, and the effect grants her a bonus in attack and EM after triggering a reaction. She can activate it with no worries. Of course, Elemental Mastery is not needed for to her. Let's have a look at the constellations before Team Comps so we can understand if there are any constellations needed, or we can play Shenhe at C0 to 11 great performances. With the first one, you can use her skill 2 times, so you can activate both buffs, which is not bad. With the second one, the burst lasts for 6 seconds longer. Active character within the skills field deal 15% increased cryo crit damage. Really good. If you got this constellation, your rotation changes, and now you should use the burst and then the skill. The third one increases the level of the skill by 3, which means you have an increased bonus for the damage you deal. With the fourth, when characters under the effect of the icy cool applied by Shenhe's skill trigger its damage bonus effect, Shenhe will gain a Skyfrost mantra stack. When Shenhe uses her skill, she will consume all stacks of Skyfrost mantra, increasing the damage of that skill by 5% for each stack consumed. The max stack is 50, so really good buff, but it increases only her skill damage, so your party members won't take advantage from this constellation. The fifth increases the level of the burst by 3, not irrelevant since it doesn't increase the percentage of the debuff in resistance she applies on opponents, it only increases the skill damage. And with the last one, when characters trigger Ice Quill's effect using normal and charge attack damage, it does not count toward the trigger quota, so you permanently have the Icy Quill, which makes her buff last longer. Elemental skill and elemental burst are not included since you can spam them as for normal attack, so it's not necessary to have this constellation activated by skill and burst as well. Now for Team Comps, she can only play with cryo DPS, so following options will of course be melt in freeze teams. First option is in fact a freeze team with Ayaka, Shenhe, Kokomi and Kazuha. This is one of the first standard team, I would say. To make it more clear, this is like the natural formation, so it exists from almost the beginning of the game. It was originally with Mona replacing Kokomi. It was in fact called Morgana team. Now it is simply called a permafreeze team, where opponents are permanently frozen, so this allows you to have character that provides really strong buffs rather than shields. You have Shenhe increasing a lot of Yaka's performances, and Kokomi healing and applying aggro on opponents, helped in turn by Kazuha, which will decrease opponents' resistance and make the aggro application more constant. This formation is not that strong in the meta right now, since the majority of the opponents can be frozen, but it's really strong when you can use it. Another option can be Wriothesley, Shenhe, Bennett and Kazuha. In this team, Shenhe helps a lot of Wriothesley, increasing his damage. Then you have Bennett buffing in attack and Kazuha decreasing opponent's resistance and buffing Ryo or applying Pyro. As always, these were just examples. You can replace Ryo with Ganyu, and that's all you needed to know about our Adaptai Shenhe. I hope this video came useful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of this incredible character. I remind you to subscribe to the channel and also to my TikTok and Instagram accounts. To join my Discord server if you want to participate to the next videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!